Thanks, man.
All right, thanks a lot, Lunga. I appreciate it.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, I've got to say that I got a little confused there. I thought I was watching the Calgary Stampede rodeo days there. It was a bull stampede in the Highveld. No doubt about that, to say the least. But let me ask you this question. I don't know if the staff was aware of this, but at 17 minutes into the game, you had 84% possession. At 50 minutes of the game, you still had 73% of possession. It dropped a little bit after that late in the game, but obviously that had to be a key. Was that a focus for the Bulls today, retaining the ball, good possession? Seemed to be a lot better ball handling as the game went on.
And that was one of the focus points. We all know that Leinster enjoys playing with the ball in hand. But I think a big contribution to that possession stat was our defence. So a lot of the defence obviously caused a lot of turnovers, which meant that we got possession again of the ball. And then on top of that, when we had the ball, I think we were very clinical in terms of how we attacked the space, which either got us momentum or try or a penalty. So it was almost like a vicious cycle for Leinster to try to turn around for them.
No, it was absolutely tough. But I think that one of the things, and I'd like to get your thoughts on this, is that one thing contributed to it is that if you go back to that horrific streak the Bulls had there in 3 competitions and 10 losses in a row, discipline was a major problem. We've talked to Jake about this, and we saw improved discipline in Currie Cup the last couple weeks, and we've seen it here as well. You didn't give many chances to Leinster by just making dumb mistakes. Do you think that contributed to the runaway victory today?
Well, 100%. We all know that penalties is part of the cancer of the game, but I think recurring penalties, so that's probably the most important thing. So once you conceded a penalty, it could happen. It's what happened next, and that I think we really improved on the last couple of weeks. Spot on.
Well, this is a final question for you before I head out, and that's this is a question the coaching staff never want to address. They're always like, well, we'll just see where we finish. But right now the Bulls have moved up to 5th spot on the log with 53 points, pending the outcome of the Sharks-Munster game and then the Connacht-Glasgow game. Both of those teams on the road, both facing big challenges. The Sharks game is underway right now. The Bulls potentially could be playing in Cape Town for the quarterfinal. They could be playing in Glasgow, or they could be playing in Ulster. Obviously, the travel is not something that you look forward to in going on the road. And I'm sure that most South African fans don't want to see South African sides knock each other out in the quarterfinals. Maybe we can get that later. But obviously, I suspect that you're probably hoping the shorter trip is what you've got to face. It'd be easier on the fellas not to have to travel all the way up to Europe and only go to Cape Town. Any thoughts on where you finish on the log? Right now, 5th place, but you could slide down pending those other 2 games.
So the 3 options is Cape Town, like you said. It'll be easier with the travel. Also, it'll be nice to play the Stormers. And then obviously you've got Glasgow. And most recently we went to Ulster at Belfast. So that was obviously an enjoyable experience for us. I think we played a great game that night, fell short right to the end. So that'll be nice, but the shorter trip will always be easier. But we'll have to see. We can't worry about that now.
Well, thank you very much, Baidake, and best of luck with the Bulls in the form they're currently in. It looks like maybe good things are coming in the quarterfinals. Good luck to you guys.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks, Chris. Warren?
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
We saw the Bulls using a lot of different combinations this season, but this week there was a lot of continuity in selection. Do you think that played a role in how you were clinical today?
Yeah, I think continuity will always contribute to a team gelling, and change is not always that easy. Sometimes changes are forced, either by rotation to look after the players' well-being or injuries. But I think the last probably 5-6 weeks we've changed minimal, and that definitely has contributed to us eating our straps.
And just on that, do you think you guys are reaching are in the right frame of mind and eating that form at the crucial stage at the moment?
Well, you want to hit your best form in the playoffs, so if you look at it in that way, it's definitely the best time to hit your straps. But we all know, like I said, the playoffs is a different animal. But the nice thing is the guys are full of confidence. They're hitting their straps, and they had a nice couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Warren. Morgan?
Thanks, Lunga. Chris, firstly, how good was it for the guys to play champagne rugby? It's not something always associated with Bulls rugby, but it looked absolutely marvellous, and the guys are swinging the ball around and playing with that confidence.
No, but I would disagree with you on that point. That's a historical point of view. I think the Bulls the last 3 years has played a nice mix. If you look at our tries, it's either maul or pick and go, but a counter attack and a nice mix in terms of our shape attack. So, but thanks for the compliment. I just want to make sure that goes out right. But it was extremely well to see, and I want to, like I said, I want to compliment the guys. They were clinical, they were hungry. And they actually squeezed Leinster into submitting and forcing errors, which we just then converted into to attack, especially the backs. That obviously fed off the efforts that we did on defence, especially our forwards, giving us a lot of momentum. But it was nice to play that champagne type of rugby.
And just lastly, Johan Person, I thought he had a very solid performance there. It doesn't look like a guy that's just come back from another long-term injury. Well documented how he's been cursed with injuries through his career, but it looks good to see him in form like this.
Yeah, so like you summed it up quite well. I think he had a tough season. I think initially there was a lot of pressure for him to get back into the Springbok setup. And I think he forced a little bit of his return to play. Then he got an unfortunate shoulder injury and tried to play through that. But now looks like he's in good health and condition. And then obviously you probably need a little bit more game time, but like he showed tonight and last week, he looks good. So very happy with his performance.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Morgan.
Leighton?
Hi, Lunga. Thanks. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Leighton.
Chris, just in terms of the cohesion in the team, the guys, I don't want to say they struggled, but without that voice of Jake when he was away and still recovering, did that play a role in leading up to that streak that you had? And now that he's fully recovered, fully focused on both teams, is that sort of that voice that's leading the team again in terms of things that you guys want to get right and do on the field as well?
It's always nice to obviously have your head coach here that gives that direction, and his voice is always important. I think that's definitely one of the contributing factors for us losing a little bit of steam, but I won't say it's the only thing. But it's very nice to have him back, and I think obviously he's also been under a lot of pressure, and the last couple of weeks the guys just pulled together and got the results that made it easy on him and obviously on the union.
And then just after this result, the last couple of games, and then knowing what you achieved traveling in the playoffs last year, do you think you're standing in good stead with regards to confidence and knowing what you can do when you travel for 2 weeks' time when you do need to travel wherever you're going?
Yeah, we're definitely in a good stead. I think when we went last year to Leinster, no one expected us to beat them. And we maybe caught them a little bit off guard. This year it will be something different. So wherever we go, like all the teams showed this year, they will be ready for the Bulls. But it's nice to have good momentum, a good vibe in the camp, and the guys hitting their straps. So it's probably the best position to be in when you go into the playoffs. And wherever we go, we will plan accordingly and take it on.
Just can I entice you on this? The Stormers have hit a patch that they haven't had this season in terms of finding their rhythm on attack. Mani, their kicker, is a bit off with his kicking at goal. Do you feel it's the right time to face them instead of heading to Glasgow or Ireland?
Yeah, well, it looks like they struggle a little bit, but like I said, the playoff is completely different. But I mentioned it previously, everything works in cycles, so it looks like they lost a little bit of momentum, but I'm sure they will obviously plan a little bit. They came back well last night in the second half, which just showed you that you can't obviously get that perception that they're struggling, because they put easily a couple of points up in the second half. But yeah, looks like they're struggling a little bit, and it's probably the best time to eat them. So yeah, only 2 weeks now will tell which team is in the best form.
And then does this break come at the right time, do you think, for you guys? I know the Stormers are very happy that they're getting a week's break, but does this break come at the right time, seeing that you've got so much momentum, especially after this win?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how Jake is going to plan this week. Obviously, there's a Currie Cup game still on, I think, in Cape Town. So he's going to plan, obviously, after the night's games in terms of what happens, where we have to go and which teams are going to go down to Cape Town. But we'll try to keep the momentum either by playing or training.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Lunga.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Morgan. DH, are you good? Cool. Silence is golden.
The recording has stopped.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.